a reality.
We have established vehicle preparation centers that provide comprehensive yard management services located at Port Klang Free Zone and also at Pekan, Pahang. We provide complete yard management services such as vehicle receiving, accessories installation, pre-delivery inspection, and many more.
Every spark holds great potential. These sparks empower us to bring dreams to life while brightening countless lives. It pushes us to discover amazing new wonders on this exciting journey of sustainability.
Opening up a world of possibilities through greener and cleaner technology. On this continuous journey to a greener planet by 2050. We are saying no more coal, and yes to greener ways that light up our homes. Nature provides us with an abundance of good. All we have to do is let it grow to its full potential. Can we do it?
Yes, we can. This means making the right choices, no matter how hard. We're making lives brighter and the world better. Shining a light on who, what, and where. Be they big or small. We believe every spark holds great potential.
Together, with our good energy, we'll continue to spark every potential
we can find today.
To make brighter tomorrows a reality.
We have established vehicle preparation centers that provide comprehensive yard management services located at Port Klang Free Zone and also at Pekan, Pahang. We provide complete yard management services such as vehicle receiving, accessories installation, pre-delivery inspection, and many more.
Every spark holds great potential. These sparks empower us to bring dreams to life while brightening countless lives. It pushes us to discover amazing new wonders on this exciting journey of sustainability.
Opening up a world of possibilities through greener and cleaner technology. On this continuous journey to a greener planet by 2050. We are saying no more coal, and yes to greener ways that light up our homes. Nature provides us with an abundance of good. All we have to do is let it grow to its full potential. Can we do it?
Yes, we can. This means making the right choices, no matter how hard. We're making lives brighter and the world better. Shining a light on who, what, and where. Be they big or small. We believe every spark holds great potential.
Together, with our good energy, we'll continue to spark every potential
we can find today.
To make brighter tomorrows a reality.
We have established vehicle preparation centers that provide comprehensive yard management services located at Port Klang Free Zone and also at Pekan, Pahang. We provide complete yard management services such as vehicle receiving, accessories installation, pre-delivery inspection, and many more.
Every spark holds great potential. These sparks empower us to bring dreams to life while brightening countless lives. It pushes us to discover amazing new wonders on this exciting journey of sustainability.
Opening up a world of possibilities through greener and cleaner technology. On this continuous journey to a greener planet by 2050. We are saying no more coal, and yes to greener ways that light up our homes. Nature provides us with an abundance of good. All we have to do is let it grow to its full potential. Can we do it?
Yes, we can. This means making the right choices, no matter how hard. We're making lives brighter and the world better. Shining a light on who, what, and where. Be they big or small. We believe every spark holds great potential.
Together, with our good energy, we'll continue to spark every potential
we can find today.
To make brighter tomorrows a reality.
We have established vehicle preparation centers that provide comprehensive yard management services located at Port Klang Free Zone and also at Pekan, Pahang. We provide complete yard management services such as vehicle receiving, accessories installation, pre-delivery inspection, and many more.
Every spark holds great potential. These sparks empower us to bring dreams to life while brightening countless lives. It pushes us to discover amazing new wonders on this exciting journey of sustainability.
Opening up a world of possibilities through greener and cleaner technology. On this continuous journey to a greener planet by 2050. We are saying no more coal, and yes to greener ways that light up our homes. Nature provides us with an abundance of good. All we have to do is let it grow to its full potential. Can we do it?
Yes, we can. This means making the right choices, no matter how hard. We're making lives brighter and the world better. Shining a light on who, what, and where.
ladies and gentlemen, our honored guests and esteemed speakers, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and welcome to ULEAD Conference 9th edition, 2025. I, Hadi Shahmi bin Muhammad Yusrizal, will be the moderator for today's event. Before we dive into the discussions ahead, please ensure your mobile phones are on silent mode. And if you must take a call, kindly step outside the conference room. If you would like to go to the toilet, please get up and leave the conference room silently through the back door in order to not disrupt the presentation. Our conference theme for today is Sustainable Development Goals, and we have a lineup of exceptional speakers from a variety of schools who will shed light on various aspects of the topic. We encourage active participation, so don't hesitate to ask questions during the Q&A session. Without further ado, let's introduce our esteemed judges throughout the day. Firstly, introducing Dr. Daud bin Muhammad from Engineering Faculty, Department of Civil Engineering, Unitan. He's the chief judge for ULEAD 2025. Next, Mr. Muhammad Haziq Afnan bin Hamizi, an executive in corporate ventures at Tenaga Nasional Berhad. Lastly, Madam Umaymah binti Muhammad Idris, academic lecturer from the Language Department of IPG Campus Ipoh. Now, it's time to introduce the participating schools. Firstly, Sekolah Tuanku Abdul Rahman, Sekolah Sultan Alam Shah, SBPI Gombak, College Yayasan Saad, Sekolah Menengah Sains Teluk Intan, Tunku Krusha College, Sekolah Dato' Abdul Razak, Sekolah Menengah Sains Tunku Muhammad Faris Petra, Sekolah Seri Puteri, Sekolah Menengah Sains Seri Puteri, Sekolah Tun Fatimah, Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Perempuan Seri Aman, Sekolah Menengah Sains Sultan Mahmud. So this is how today is going to look like. There will be 13 schools presenting today, separated into 2 sessions. The first 7 schools will be presenting in the first session this morning, while the other 6 schools will be presenting in the second session, which is after the lunch and break. Before we start, a little reminder. During the Q&A session, there will be questions from the judges first. Then, we will open the floor to the other participants as well. Please raise your hand and wait for the microphone before asking your question. Keep your question concise, and remember that our speakers have a limited time, which is 5 minutes for the Q&A session. There will also be a timekeeper in charge of keeping track of the time. When the bell is ringed once, the 8-minute timer will begin, marking the start of participants' presentation. When the bell is ringed twice, it indicates the start of the Q&A session. Finally, the bell will ring one final time, indicating the end of the participants' round. Now, let's move on to our main agenda. Without further ado, let me invite representative from Sekolah Tun Fatimah to start the conference.
Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning I bid to the honorable judges, accurate timekeeper, and members of the floor. I am Haida Arisa binti Haru Anam. I am 15.
And I'm Atira, also 15. We may be younger than most of you are, but we care about the future just as much as you do. Today, we'll be talking about clean water and sanitation.
Our presentation will be divided into 3 parts. Why clean water is important, the challenges we are facing in the status quo, and a simple but powerful solution we have ready for you all today. First and foremost, we will explain to you why water is essential. I will pass that to my partner, Atira.
Okay. So, did you know everything on earth cannot live without water? So, why is clean water important? First, every living thing needs water to survive. Contaminated water leads to diseases like cholera, typhoid, and food poisoning. It's basically a horror show for your insides. Second, it prevents poverty and hunger. With clean water, people can farm, cook, and clean without a problem. Productivity goes up, suffering goes down. Next, it helps the environment. Polluted water kills fish, plants, and other wildlife, creating a domino effect that wrecks entire ecosystems. That's why clean water is very important. Next, the world's water crisis. Unsafe water, sanitation, and hygiene cause an estimated of 829,000 deaths each year from diarrhea. Over 1,000 children under 5 die every day from preventable water-related diseases. Okay, so first is industrial waste. Some factories throw out their chemical waste into rivers and pollute them. Next, plastic pollution. Some people throw out their rubbish into rivers, thus blocking the water flow and harm the environment. Next, inadequate infrastructure. Do you guys know Pandawara? Pandawara is an NGO from Indonesia. They clean up the rivers there, but after a few days later, the trash will pile up again. That shows how bad poor infrastructure affects the world. And last but not least, untreated wastewater. Untreated wastewater, especially from rural areas, can flow back into clean rivers and pollute them. Let's hear from my partner next.
Up next, we have data analysis in Malaysia and the globe. So, contaminated water consists of bacteria and parasites, such as E. coli, typhoid, and salmonella, which results to poor access. People are struggling to access clean waters because about 42% of waters are contaminated, according to the UN in 2022. Not only that, but the contamination has led to 1.7 billion people drinking feces water. Can you believe that? Thus, causing health impacts on innocent people. These health impacts has given rise to thousands of deaths each year. And lastly, the levels of water pollution is increasing daily because wastewater doesn't undergo proper treatment. We introduce to you our solution, which is solar-powered purification. We took inspiration from solar photocatalytic purification, which is basically a fancy way of saying use sunlight to destroy water pollutants at the molecular level. Sunlight is completely free, so why don't we make use of that, right? And our technology uses UV rays to kill bacteria and so on and so forth. So basically, imagine this. Sunlight hits a special surface, and that surface blasts UV rays and kill bacteria, viruses, pesticides, and dyes, and turn them into harmless molecules like carbon dioxide and water. We use semiconductors, which in this case is titanium dioxide, to absorb a lot of sunlight. These photocatalysts are materials that, when hit by sunlight, trigger chemical reactions that break down the contaminants. So why are we proposing this solution instead of all the other solutions in the world? Well, first of all, it's one of the few inventions that actually work with nature instead of fighting it. But first and foremost, it requires absolutely no electricity bills. So don't you worry about your bank account. Today, we have many solutions for water pollution, right? But we think this one is worth the while because it's pure sunlight. And next, it has no chemicals or emissions. Unlike chlorination, it doesn't add anything nasty to your water. No chlorine taste, no residue. It kills pathogens by annihilating its molecular structure. not by drowning it in bleach. And next, it's perfect for rural or emergency uses. It's lightweight, low maintenance, and doesn't need any skilled technicians. You can deploy it in villages and farms. Yes, anywhere with sunlight, basically. Try doing that with a giant industrial RO plant. Sounds almost impossible, right? As we may all know, there are a plethora of solutions for water pollution. But why is the number of water pollution still rising? Good question. This is because, well, some of the solutions might have a few side effects, but if not that, then people are just not implementing it well enough. So that is why we need to make this a big deal. I will pass that to my partner to elaborate further.
So, how do we make this a big deal? How do we make people care? First, we can start campaigns to prevent littering. The government can organize community cleanup days to encourage people not to litter and spread awareness. Next, create educational videos to teach people about the dangers of water pollution. Influencers can create videos about water pollution and post them on TikTok or Instagram to spread the awareness faster. And lastly, do you guys know solar photocatalytic before we presented? If you did, please raise your hand. See, nobody raised their hand. That means we need to educate students about the science behind solar-powered purification.
All in all, without realizing, our solution has covered 3 SDG goals. First, SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. Basically, what our technology achieves. SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. This is because our energy is, well, the sun. Totally affordable and clean. And lastly, SDG 3, clean water ensures good health and well-being all the time. With all that being said, that is all from us. To wrap things up, let's be part of the solution, not part of the pollution.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you, Sekolah Tun Fatimah, for that enlightening presentation. Now it's time for the Q&A session. I will now open the floor for the judges to ask questions.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. Thank you. It's a great presentation and then also the good infographic. So I open for to the both judges if you have any question.
Hello, hi, and I'm good morning. So wonderful presentation. I would like to ask about the water purification. I think about SDG is about overcoming poverty, empowering those people who are not very like getting all those quality life kan. I would like to ask what do you think about the cost of deploying of the solution based on what you said just now, the cost of deploying that solution?
I mean, if you ask us, we think it's a good investment because all it does is invest on the solar and the titanium dioxide. And fun fact, titanium dioxide could last for years without having to be replaced. So we only need to pay it once and probably pay it after a few decades after that. So that's all.
So, because I've never heard of this, right? How much is the cost of 1 unit of that titanium?
We are unsure about that, sorry.
It's okay, thank you.
Okay. I open to the participant for the student. One question.
Any questions
question.
from the participants?
Two questions from participant. Okay. One only.
Alright, how big do you plan to go with this project? And is it applicable to be used everywhere?
Well, our plan is to go as far as we can go, of course, but we think it is applicable because it requires only sunlight. So just anywhere with sunlight, unless it's in regions where sunlight is a bit difficult to get, I guess we need to find like an alternative for that. So.
Any other questions?
Okay, thank you. And I have two simple questions. So first, I would like to ask, how does this innovation operates? Does it need someone to monitor it regularly, or it automatically operates by itself? And secondly, if anything happens, such as natural disasters, floods, or even rainstorm, does it have any resistance toward of these issues?
Thank you. Well, for the first question, wait, what was your first question? Sorry.
For the first question, I would like to ask how the device operate. Like, does it need someone to regularly monitor it, or it do the thing by itself?
Well, it's processed by itself because, like we mentioned just now, titanium dioxide can last for years. So, if anything, it just needs to be replaced every few decades. And for the second question, we can't promise anything for the natural disasters, but we'll try our best, like, to build it as safely as possible.
Alright. Thank you to participants from Sekolah Tun Fatimah for their amazing presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to call upon the representative from Sekolah Menengah Sains Sri Putri to continue our conference.
Bismillah. Bismillah. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning I bid to the respective judges and members of this hall. We are the representative of Sekolah Menengah Sains Seri Putri. My name is Nur Izara Farshana and my partner's name is Ira Sofia. Together, we will be presenting about the advancement of global technologies regarding AI under the theme for Decent Work and Economic Advancement. First of all, AI. AI stands for Artificial Intelligence, which are the ability of machines to perform tasks normally require human intelligence, such as learning and problem solving. Also, in creation of machines. So, we are relating the issues that were given to us with the Sustainable Development Goal 8, which are the decent work and economic growth. This SDG promotes sustained, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment and decent work for all. This means that we wanted to ensure the economic growth and decent work in worldwide are in a good level. So for this problem, we would like to focus on manufacturing and agriculture.
So for the comparison between advancement of technology, where
we compare manufacturing and agriculture before AI and after AI. Before AI, in manufacturing, we often before AI, we often use the human work, which we will use human power, human energy, that often we call it as manual. However, after the development of AI, the creation of robotics and automation started in manufacturing. And also for agriculture, before AI, humans use manual crop monitoring, which they have to work daily for to monitor the crop's growth. However, after the AI, we can use drone to monitor the crops and, of course, maybe spray water to the crops and so on.
So this shows the overview of the development of AI from the 90s until present. So as you can see, first, in the 90s, AI is used minimally in agriculture, and followed by 2010, where universities and technology labs started doing research on AI so that it's suitable to be used in agriculture. And on 2015, AI, artificial intelligence, started to be used by some companies, such as John Deere, causing the agriculture to be produced efficiently. Followed by 2018, where AI is commonly used by human, and until now, where AI is not just used by agriculture, but it's used across the world.
So these are the example, which is the manufacturing. For the example is human power in manufacturing before the development or the advancement of artificial intelligence. There are advantages and disadvantages. For the advantages, the workers can be controlled easily, which means if they ask to do some work, they will do it. And of course, they don't need much cost to repair machines since they use manual, and the artificial intelligence not yet advanced in this time. However, the disadvantages of this human energy are humans will experience exhausted since they work daily and always. And of course, since humans are not, will never get to avoid the mistakes. So then, the mistake can be made by all the workers. And of course, absent workers due to maybe sickness and so on. However, after the advancement of AI, there are still disadvantages. However, the advantages of the artificial intelligence in manufacturing are the products are neat, which means because the mistakes of which means the machine can avoid doing mistakes, and also need a short period of time to create a product. However, the disadvantages is it is easily broken, maybe because not repaired regularly and also malfunctioning. However, in agriculture, the use of human power, human energy, same goes to manufacturing, can be controlled easily and don't much cost to repair machines. And for the disadvantages, it is for because the workers may exhausted and can avoid mistake, also absence. However, after the AI in agriculture, the advantages are they can create a machine such as drones to monitor the crop's growth, and also drones can spray water regularly without us needing to tell them to. So this means that machines or the drones can multitask. And the disadvantages, it can cause malfunctioning or easily broken. So with all these problems, disadvantages and advantages of human energy and artificial intelligence power, we create a solution which are the AI Man Center. What is this? It is a system that all the all the organization or government need to use, since it is to develop human and AI policies. So what are these actually? These systems are to ensure that AI development prioritize human welfare. This means that the artificial intelligence or machines technologies can't replace the human work because because of the SDGA, the decent work, which means that human need to work because the job because they have to work. And the process of this system is, first of all, the government or the organization must use this system to design an AI. For example, they wanted to do in manufacturing, they wanted to create a machine. However, the machine must prioritize the human work. And then this augment the human labor and focus on creating jobs for the economic growth. And also, it is to combine the human creativity and AI efficiency, which means that humans and AI can work together as workers and co-workers instead of replacing it. So the effects are the increase the productivity and efficiency, ensure human work since the artificial intelligence will not replace the human, and job opportunities, economic difference, which is the economic growth will increase, and also transformation of work culture, since we combine the human creativity and AI efficiency. That is all from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sekolah Menengah Sains Seri Puteri, for that excellent presentation. The judges may now ask questions for the Q&A sessions.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Farshana and Ira. Okay. You talk about AI. Okay. Can you give your opinion? You are from Seri Puteri.
Yes. Sains Seri Puteri.
Sains Seri Puteri. KL or Putrajaya?
KL.
KL. Okay. So, what is your opinion on your level of AI technology in your school? Do you apply this AI in your school during your teaching or during your any curriculum activities?
Okay. Yes, we apply the artificial intelligence in our school. Sometimes our teacher will wanted us to present about subjects, but using the AI power, which is we have to generate some poster or slides in the ChatGPT or Copilot.
Okay, so you use ChatGPT and Copilot.
Yes, we do. But usually we just use it for base. We don't just ask them to do a poster. For example, the teacher asks us to do a slide for that one subject. We don't just ask the ChatGPT to do a poster for us. We ask them for ideas for us to use in the poster.
So you learn how to prompt the AI.
Yes, correct.
So meaning this AI is still need human.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so in your slide, you mentioned they will be replace a human. Can you relate it?
This means in like jobs, like manufacturing, in a factory, we often see like machines doing work and sometimes the workers are just relaxing in their room or whatever. So this seems like they are replacing the human work, which used to be the human work, but now it is completely worked by the machines itself. So this means that they are like replacing and decreasing the jobs chances.
Okay, I'm asking because you are not relate with your SDG. It's okay. So this is considered relate with your SDG lah. We need each other. It's not only AI, it's not only robot, but still human. Need AI is just help us to become world is better, right? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. From me.
Thank you.
Now I open the floor to other participants to ask questions to the presenter.
Hello. If I may ask, beside all the things that you present just now, I mean all the industry that you mentioned, um, what are the other industry that you think might be taken by AI or AI getting into the industry?
For me, in my opinion, I think the education, since um, now school are using mostly AI for like doing poster, or sometimes we learn something like that we don't know. We don't ask teachers, but we ask the AI. So I think as time goes by, maybe the education will completely used by the will completely be using the AI, since maybe creation of robot teacher, or yes. Thank you.
Okay, open for participant. Participant, please ask question. Tekan.
Hello. Okay, sorry. I feel like it's clear that a lot of people today depend on AI, and I feel like the fact that some schools even use posters for AIs goes to show that there needs to be a policy for these people to like manage the usage of these AIs. But my question then is, what happens if you do not follow these policies? Is there any like repercussions? Is there any like fines or anything you have to be going through? Like for example, if an industry were to if an industry were to not have humans work in the industry, would it suddenly be a crime? Like, would there be like any repercussions towards them?
Thank you for the question. And okay, maybe if the human did not follow the policies, maybe we will improve the policies, such as in every AI system, there will be a limit that can make sure the human did not fully rely on the AI, as like maybe they are in the policies in the system that we create. Maybe we will put a time limit or a limit for generation of idea. That's it.
Thank you to SMS Sri Putri for that excellent presentation. For our next presentation, please welcome representative from Sekolah Dato' Abdul Razak to enlighten us with their ideas.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a good morning a bit to the members of the floor and also the judges. First and foremost, I'd like to start big. I believe that consumerism will be the end of our world. I know, as dramatic as it sounds, it's never too far-fetched. Especially when inside of our world today, most of the clothes that I buy, that you buy, just because they're in trend, from Zara, Shein, and all those fast fashion shops, often end up in landfills, leading to resources being wasted. Now, quoted and cited from a scholarly article, as per capita waste production is linked to per capita income, richer developed countries continue to produce the most amount of waste. Why do I feel the need to highlight and stress that it's the richer developed countries that are producing this waste? It's because producers, big companies, as I've mentioned before, such as Shein and Zara, often target these countries to sell their items in bulk. And you've heard it before. Everyone should boycott. Everyone should stop fast fashion. Why do we hate fast fashion? To put it simply, fast fashion means a wastage of textile resources, and a wastage of water resources. What fast fashion looks like, it looks like the second largest consumer of water globally. It looks like 700 gallons of water being used for just one pair of jeans. And I find it absolutely absurd that a water supply that can supply one person for a year is used just so that you can enjoy a new pair of jeans because they're in trend. And when I told you about landfills earlier, this is what overconsumption looks like, fast fashion. Their reckless throwing culture led to 2.6 million tons of return clothes ending up in landfills in 2020. That is inside the US alone. All of this wouldn't be a problem if we have infinite resources. But that's the thing. Our resources are finite, and we're not living inside of a utopian world.
According to the research conducted by the US Geological Survey, it's found that only 2.5% of all the water found on Earth is fresh water. However, most of these fresh water are not readily available, as it is mostly locked up deep underground or frozen in the glaciers. Thus, leaving us with only 0.3% of Earth's water being actually attainable for human consumption. This is a problem due to the fact that humans use an enormous amount of water. Data shows that we're using about 4 trillion cubic meters of water every year without showing any signs of slowing down or ever stopping. What's more alarming is that we're using an equivalent to 1.7 Earth worth of resources, which means that we're consuming resources faster than what our planet can replenish. At this point, we're actually just draining our planet dry. If this trend continues, experts warn us that by the year 2030, the global demand for fresh water will exceed its maximum capacity by 40%. As a result of this, more than 5 billion people across the globe will suffer from water stress and severe clean water shortages. Now, behind the curtains of all of this problem is actually just irresponsible consumerism. It's the people who use these resources without any mercy, and the people who are reckless inside of the usage of our resources. In turn, right, we can see from fast fashion, 90 billion clothes are produced every year. And at the end of the day, this directly translates to 92 million tons wasted every year. For your perspective, that's enough to fill entire cities. Take, for example, Kuala Lumpur being filled with just clothes that you decided you don't want to wear anymore. Now, what everybody's trying to do, a global mission, is that we're trying to transition from our status quo, which is a linear economy, meaning that producers produce, and we buy them, then we throw them away. We're trying to transition into a circular economy, where the producers produce the products, we consume, we reuse and recycle, so that our resources are always in motion, meaning they won't be wasted. To tackle this problem, we found 2 ways for us and 2 sections that we have to tackle. That being, from the perspective of the consumer and also the producer in terms of encouraging responsibility. In terms of producer, we try to target them by giving them an advantage inside of the market. Now, market advantage, what does that look like? We tell you that we believe that the government should be more directly involved, meaning that we are trying to create a competitive market where each and every company, whether it be private or government, are always racing to be sustainable. How's that? We think that the government should make a certificate using evaluation, using circularity metrics, such as take back or repair program, recycle content ratio, and much more, so that these companies who receive the certificate, these sustainable companies, will be able to be at the spotlight for investors. Because investors often look at community acceptance, lower risk, and better efficiency. We believe that when the sustainable practicing companies are at an advantage, these non-sustainable companies will chase and strive to be the same with them, meaning the market will be more competitive in terms that everybody's trying to be sustainable. As for the consumers, we suggest that implementing a financial incentive will be an effective way of strengthening the circular economy. We believe in our world is mostly capitalist right now, so that means that money is drive for everything. That's why we think that financial incentive will be effective. How does it work exactly? Is that each and every household, Every waste generated from a household will be collected by garbage truck and will be weighted. The consumers have to pay based on the total weight of their waste. In other words, the more that you throw away, the higher the cost that you have to pay. This system encourages people to become more to practice more sustainable practices like recycling or repurposing unused items like old clothes to reduce their waste generation. Research also shows that financial incentives are one of the most effective, one of the most strongest influences for people to start practicing sustainable practices and to reduce their waste.
So therefore, panel, inside of a capitalist world where money drives everything, we believe that tackling it through the economy is the best way possible. To encourage responsibility and to stand for a circular economy means to stand for our planet. That is all from us. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Good presentation. Okay, my first question is, what's your name?
So my name is Koit Afham and my teammate over here is Amarayan.
Pardon?
My name is Koit Afham. Koit, Q-A-I-D. And my other teammate here is Amarayan.
Okay, this is my question.
Good presentation. I wonder how will you be able to spread awareness about this issue?
Okay, awareness is one thing, but we think that when we directly target the producers, right? We told you earlier, certificates will only be given to companies that has take-back repair programs, right? So have you ever seen, anytime you walk into Uniqlo and everything, right? There's always a box for you to recycle, right? That's a way that these big corporate companies are trying to gain acceptance from the community. And when the producers, these big companies, are creating these programs, only then will the consumers be able to follow. So we believe that awareness will be spread, firstly, through the producers themselves. That is the big companies through their programs, such as recycling programs and much more.
Okay, thank you.
It's a good answer. So meaning, if I'm rich, I'm not allowed to buy more clothes, right?
Supposedly, you're not supposed to buy as much clothes. That's the thing. When we encourage companies to be more sustainable, they'll create clothes that are actually able to last long. Meaning that you, maybe the higher social class, when you buy clothes, you're not going to buy fast fashion clothes. You're going to buy clothes that will last for a long time. Meaning you won't throw them in landfills just after 2 years. You'll be able to be wearing them for years on end. You buy a blazer today, for example me, and then I'll be able to wear it even when I'm at work, even when I'm about to retire. This blazer won't end up inside of a landfill.
As long as you don't add to your weight lah.
Yeah.
Itu masalah besar lah.
Right.
Okay.
Any questions? Oh.
Probably I'm gonna ask a question. I think there's no long-lasting and cheap in one sentence. How do you think companies can tackle that, and how consumer can make a great choice?
Okay, when we're talking about the market, right? We've told you earlier, we're creating a market where it's competitive, meaning that even the non-sustainable companies right now, they have an advantage because their clothes are much more cheaper. They're using textiles that are easy to degrade. So when these companies are actively racing, they'll all have to have the same price, meaning that they have to create clothes with actually quality textiles, meaning all of them will be able to have an ability to compete in the market. Even the non-sustainable ones will have to match the price of the sustainable ones just to achieve the certificate.
Okay. But good product, not cheap.
Yeah, that's one of the problem. But we find that trading economy and the cost of a product for the sake of the planet, especially when we've mentioned that things such as water supplies is going to deplete in just a few years from now, we think that's a good trade-off in our position. That's what
Okay, one last question. How you want to balance this in terms of economy and in terms of you shopping and relate with the economy? Because you said less shopping is considered is good for the natural resources, right, for this planet. But if you're not shopping, it's considered will be affected to your economy, country economy.
So in terms of balance for the economy and the environment. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why we're trying to drive a consumer and producer market where they're all cooperating. Meaning that anytime that the consumer decides to buy, it means that there will be an active supply and demand. That means that these companies, they'll be able to create clothes, sustainable, yet cheap, because their market is standardized nowadays. And at the same time, they'll be able to drive a standard price, meaning that the demand of the consumers will still be met. It's just that the producers are inclined to more sustainable practices.
Okay, good. From participant.
Any questions from the participants? Thank you to Sekolah Dato' Abdul Razak for that interesting ideas performance. Now, before we continue with the fourth presentation, we will have a quick breather. Participants and judges may go to the toilet or catch their breath for about 30 minutes. Please make sure to return to the hall 5 minutes before the conference starts again at about 10 a.m.
We have established vehicle preparation centers that provide comprehensive yard management services located at Port Klang Free Zone and also at Pekan, Pahang. We provide complete yard management services such as vehicle receiving, accessories installation, pre-delivery inspection, and many more.
Every spark holds great potential. These sparks empower us to bring dreams to life while brightening countless lives. It pushes us to discover amazing new wonders on this exciting journey of sustainability.
Opening up a world of possibilities through greener and cleaner technology. On this continuous journey to a greener planet by 2050. We are saying no more coal, and yes to greener ways that light up our homes. Nature provides us with an abundance of good. All we have to do is let it grow to its full potential. do it?
Yes, we can. This means making the right choices, no matter how hard. We're making lives brighter and the world better. Shining a light on who, what, and where. Be they big or small. We believe every spark holds great potential.
Together, with our good energy, we'll continue to spark every potential
we can find today
to make brighter tomorrows a reality.
We have established vehicle preparation centers that provide comprehensive yard management services located at Port Klang Free Zone and also at Pekan, Pahang. We provide complete yard management services such as vehicle receiving, accessories installation, pre-delivery inspection, and many more.
Every spark holds great potential. These sparks empower us to bring dreams to life while brightening countless lives. It pushes us to discover amazing new wonders on this exciting journey of sustainability.
opening up a world of possibilities through greener and cleaner technology. On this continuous journey to a greener planet by 2050, we are saying no more coal, and yes to greener ways that light up our homes. Nature provides us with an abundance of good. All we have to do is let it grow to its full potential. Can we do it?
Yes, we can. This means making the right choices, no matter how hard. We're making lives brighter and the world better. Shining a light on who, what, and where. Be they big or small. We believe every spark holds great potential.
Together, with our good energy, we'll continue to spark every potential
we can find today
to make brighter tomorrows a reality.
We have established vehicle preparation centers that provide comprehensive yard management services located at Port Klang Free Zone and also at Pekan, Pahang. We provide complete yard management services such as vehicle receiving, accessories installation, pre-delivery inspection, and many more.
Every spark holds great potential. These sparks empower us to bring dreams to life while brightening countless lives. It pushes us to discover amazing new wonders on this exciting journey of sustainability.
opening up a world of possibilities through greener and cleaner technology. On this continuous journey to a greener planet by 2050. We are saying no more coal, and yes to greener ways that light up our homes. Nature provides us with an abundance of good. All we have to do is let it grow to its full potential. do it?
Yes, we can. This means making the right choices, no matter how hard. We're making lives brighter and the world better. Shining a light on who, what, and where. Be they big or small. We believe every spark holds great potential.
Together, with our good energy, we'll continue to spark every potential
we can find today
to make brighter tomorrows a reality.
We have established vehicle preparation centers that provide comprehensive yard management services located at Port Klang Free Zone and also at Pekan, Pahang. We provide complete yard management services such as vehicle receiving, accessories installation, pre-delivery inspection, and many more.
Every spark holds great potential. These sparks empower us to bring dreams to life while brightening countless lives. It pushes us to discover amazing new wonders on this exciting journey of sustainability.
opening up a world of possibilities through greener and cleaner technology. On this continuous journey to a greener planet by 2050, we are saying no more coal, and yes to greener ways that light up our homes. Nature provides us with an abundance of good. All we have to do is let it grow to its full potential. do it?
Yes, we can. This means making the right choices, no matter how hard. We're making lives brighter and the world better. Shining a light on who, what, and where. Be they big or small. We believe every spark holds great potential.
Together, with our good energy, we'll continue to spark every potential
we can find today
to make brighter tomorrows a reality.
We have established vehicle preparation centers that provide comprehensive yard management services located at Port Klang Free Zone and also at Pekan, Pahang. We provide complete yard management services such as vehicle receiving, accessories installation, pre-delivery inspection, and many more.
Every spark holds great potential. These sparks empower us to bring dreams to life while brightening countless lives. It pushes us to discover amazing new wonders on this exciting journey of sustainability.
opening up a world of possibilities. Through greener and cleaner technology. On this continuous journey to a greener planet by 2050. We are saying no more coal. And yes, to greener ways that light up our homes. Nature provides us with an abundance of good. All we have to do is let it grow to its full potential. we do it?
Yes, we can. This means making the right choices, no matter how hard. We're making lives brighter and the world better. Shining a light on who, what, and where. Be they big or small. We believe every spark holds great potential.
Together, with our good energy, we'll continue to spark every potential
we can find today.
To make brighter tomorrows a reality.
We have established vehicle preparation centers that provide comprehensive yard management services located at Port Klang Free Zone and also at Pekan, Pahang. We provide complete yard management services such as vehicle receiving, accessories installation, pre-delivery inspection, and many more.
Every spark holds great potential. These sparks empower us to bring dreams to life while brightening countless lives. It pushes us to discover amazing new wonders on this exciting journey of sustainability.
Opening up a world of possibilities through greener and cleaner technology. On this continuous journey to a greener planet by 2050. We are saying no more coal. And yes, to greener ways that light up our homes. Nature provides us with an abundance of good. All we have to do is let it grow to its full potential. do it?
Yes, we can. This means making the right choices, no matter how hard. We're making lives brighter and the world better. Shining a light on who, what, and where. Be they big or small. We believe every spark holds great potential.
Together, with our good energy, we'll continue to spark every potential
we can find today
to make brighter tomorrows a reality.
We have established vehicle preparation centers that provide comprehensive yard management services located at Port Klang Free Zone and also at Pekan, Pahang. We provide complete yard management services such as vehicle receiving, accessories installation, pre-delivery inspection, and many more. We have established vehicle preparation center.
Idle and stagnant. An inefficient gig economy that scales flexibility and not opportunity, leaving millions of people with uncertain livelihoods. Urban-centric growth that tracks prosperity and wealth in major cities, while leaving these rural centers left behind. And digital inclusion efforts that often teach skills that don't translate to livelihood. And the numbers don't lie, because by 2025, 40% of job posting worldwide will need to offer remote or hybrid work options. And every 10% rise in broadband or internet usage penetration can boost GDP by 1.6%. And 67% of the global population now use the internet. But this 33%, this large amount of individuals are still untapped, and it leaves a large labor pool that has not been able to unleash its potential. And lastly, over 55% of the global population live in cities. This shows that this already proves there is a congestion within these urban places, and this will rise to 68% by 2050, which will create immense pressure for the future generations. So this is what we're pushing for avant-garde. Avant-garde means we're challenging the norm that society is currently based upon. It's not just about efficiency, it's about reinvention. For avant-garde solution has two key factors. Number one, it goes beyond remote work, which means it reimagines where economies operate, not just limited towards where offices stand, but to wherever people live. And secondly, it provides systemic reinvention because it combines things such as physical hubs, digital access, and human inclusion all into one unified global framework. And this is where our solution comes into place. I like to call it MCOT, or you can call it whatever you want, but it basically stands for micro-cluster oriented decentralization. The way it works is very simple. There's 4 key mechanisms. Number one, it converts these unused buildings, like old libraries or old Mara buildings for instance, into digital workshops that are equipped with technology, equipped with Wi-Fi, and equipped with computers for instance. Secondly, we
keen on working on, so that these firms or these companies then can hire people from all across the globe or all across the nation far, far better. And thirdly, we're going to be training the local population or training the youth to have this digital literacy or to be able to use technology better. Because look, I like to say that we are all privileged. We are all privileged to be able to have iPads in our education system. But I tell you that people in these rural areas, they do not have this privilege. Therefore, we need to collaborate with universities and private firms to provide this education. And lastly, we're going to be ensuring that these global companies hire by cluster and not by city. This means there's going to be fair recruitment for every person within like any country, right?
Let's answer the practical aspect of our implementation with 3 key phases. The first phase, which is foundation, which will happen throughout the first 2 years, will be converting 10 to 30 pilot hubs and launching the AI job matching platform. Early cooperation partners will also happen to CSR collaborations. Phase 2, the scaling process, which will happen throughout the next 3 years. We're going to be expanding regionally across regions such as Asia, Africa, and Latin America, while simultaneously integrating universities for training, certification, and innovation so that these people can have the necessary skills to adapt to this change. And phase 3, the global integration phase, which will happen from year 5 and onwards. All these regions will be connected underneath one common MCOT grid and will enable cross-border projects underneath SDG 17 sustainable partnerships.
Now, there are 2 changes that will be happening within the current work styles in our economy. Firstly, decentralization. There's 2 key aspects. We're going to expand growth frontiers. This looks like us moving digital and economic activity from these crowding cities like Kuala Lumpur to these much more rural areas then. This is able to then improve the inequality that happens. But secondly then, we're going to also ensure that every connected town becomes part of the global workforce. Because although countries like Malaysia are rapidly growing, this growth is only centralized amongst these top 3 states like Penang, like Kuala Lumpur, and like Johor Bahru, and this is the problem. But the second change then is in terms of infrastructure. Firstly, we're going to ensure smart usage. We're going to be transforming these underused buildings into tech-enabled workspaces powered by renewable energy. But before you may ask why we want to use unused buildings, it's because number 1, it generally costs a lot cheaper. It's much cheaper for you to use an existing building rather than you trying to compile up tens of millions of thousands of ringgit to build a whole new building. But second, then it's going to be grounded in growth because we're going to be building modern infrastructure that anchors these rural communities into the digital economy, actively inclusified, like including them within activities, right?
What are some benefits that this provides? First of all, it revitalizes the local economy by channeling global digital income directly into local communities. This causes multiplier effects which stimulate small business growth. Secondly, it causes inclusive and distributed participation, which can help bridge the gap between urban and rural areas, as well as empower the underrepresented communities by giving them equal access to work and income. Thirdly, it's cost-efficient resource and infrastructure, because we're going to be transforming these idle public spaces and buildings into cost-effective and tech-centered hubs for maximum resource allocation.
Now, these are real statistics that help us ground this solution. The first, rural countries with strong digital access can experience 18% higher per capita income growth compared to without it. So if you could imagine Malaysia right now, with digital literacy for these rural people, our economy could be thriving. But secondly then, the decentralization effect. Regional economies with diverse microenterprises can grow 2.5 times faster than those concentrated in capital cities. This is not double, this is almost triple the amount of time it takes. And these other 2 statistics just help us ground it even further. But next.
Right, next. Now, however, there are some challenges that we have to acknowledge. For one, digital infrastructure gaps. Secondly, funding and sustainability for initial investment is high, but returns are not yet visible. Thirdly, cultural resistance to change, for people who prefer traditional work structures over our flexible work styles. And fourthly, there's going to be lack of corporate trust in remote teams because of reliability and quality concern. However, there are solutions to all of this. This includes public-private broadband network and low-orbit satellite integration, blending of financial models which combine CSR funding, government aid, and small membership fees from these hub users. This also looks like highlighting local champions and awareness campaigns to showcase success stories, as well as giving these corporate people performance-based rankings, transparent monitoring, verified credentials to increase responsibility and accountability.
Now, on to the main event, SDG linkages. We picked 5 SDGs that links heavily towards our solution. Number 1, decent work and economic growth. MCOT creates fair digital jobs that can boost the activity that is inclusive for every single person within a nation. And secondly, SDG 9, innovation. It transforms these idle buildings into places with tech that can actually facilitate the vast majority of the industries that are rapidly happening each day. And these other 3 just further amplify that. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Sekolah Sultan Alam Shah on their wonderful presentation. I now open the floor to the judges to ask questions towards the presenter.
Assalamualaikum. What is your name?
Arfan.
You?
Anas.
Anas. Okay.
How are you going to persuade those people who currently live in the city to go somewhere further than they live now?
So actually that's the misconception. It's not that we're trying to divert all of these people living in states like Kuala Lumpur to suddenly live in Kelantan, because obviously who wants to suddenly migrate, right? No one wants to do that. The key point that we're trying to prove here is that right now there is a centralization. It means that there's prioritization for industries within certain regions. It means that these states like Kelantan or Sabah or Sarawak are not getting these fair opportunities like in Kuala Lumpur. So the point we're trying to make here is very simple. We're going to be making micro cluster hubs that can facilitate people at a cheaper cost, in which now they can actually access these jobs that they want. For example, microchip building or maybe tech-related coding. These things these are like the avenues that we're trying to open up for all people in Malaysia.
I truly understand that far migration is not the idea. I'm not saying that people who live in KL who gonna migrate to Kelantan. No, that is not the question. But those micro hubs, is this going to be built around Kelantan?
Oh no, it's going to be built like all around the country.
Okay, then totally understand the idea.
So you mentioned that you have sort of identified 20 to 30 hubs just now?
Oh no, that's the first phase of our solution.
Uh-huh, all right.
It doesn't mean it exists already, but it means that in the implementation of our mechanism, we are going to try and make at least 20 to 30 hubs to test the effectiveness of it.
All right. Any other questions, or we can open it to
Participants.
participants?
I'm still not very satisfied with the answer actually. It's because like to build a micro hub around the state in Malaysia, I would say some countries, some states are blessed with some competitive advantage. I would say there's certain reason why Kelantan is not the part in Malaysia that receive a lot of economic opportunity compared to Johor Bahru. We all know why, because it's located near Singapore. So I would say, and then just by creating a micro hub doesn't really help those people in Kelantan. It's because who wanna go and try to open new job opportunities there? Can you try to give me some assurance?
It's actually really simple. Just because a state might be underdeveloped now, just because it might be seen as a place that as a place where agriculture and low paid wages jobs are often like practice, doesn't necessarily mean these jobs cannot exist. Because I personally have friends who live in Kelantan, for example, who do have the passion to, for example, code Minecraft, for example, right? But given the fact that right now there is a centralization of a prioritization towards these first world states, for example, it is quite hard for them. The way these micro hubs work is very simple. Number one is cheap. So therefore, there's not much things for you to lose at the end of the day. That's not a really big risk factor. But secondly then, the fact that a lot of jobs now require digital literacy and allows you to use computers, it's not really that hard, or it's not something impossible for you to do. For example, if I wanted someone to be doing my graphic designing, I don't necessarily have to hire someone so proximately close to me, because it's the graphic designing. I don't need someone next to me right now. I can hire someone from Kelantan. Let's see if that person is actually good, then I can hire him. And that's the problem. Most jobs now are centralized in a physical aspect. We don't want that. We want everyone, like not just by their geographical placement, to actually have this like flexibility and have this opportunity. Because we think that it's quite unfair that just because you're born in a certain place, you're not able to work in a certain job. Because even if these people were to work in a certain job right now, it's literally 1 in a million. We're trying to make that 1 in a million turn into, let's say, 100,000 in a million. We want to open the doors, open the borders.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Any questions?
Okay, thank you.
A round of applause for SAS on their wonderful presentation. Before we continue, we kindly ask for the presenters to use the mic during their presentation so that your voices can be heard in the live. Now, I invite the fifth presenter from SMS Sultan Mahmud to continue our conference this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, how would you feel if your right were taken away by someone? If it were me, I would be very sad, and then I'd be angry, and then I'll try to solve the problem. But then what happens when the victim themselves can't solve that very problem? That's the reality of digital divide, and it's quietly consuming us. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Education has actually recognized this problem earlier on. That's why when they launched the Malaysia Educational Blueprint, they actually also introduced to us the ICT and digital transformation in education. Alongside that, they also introduced other initiatives such as the hybrid classroom, the Dilemma platform, and the digital textbook post-pandemic. Its aim is to focus on improving accessibility and to improve achievability of the students in these schools. Although some improvements have been made over the year, the system itself also kept getting smarter. However, the students that benefited from it doesn't get equal access. For example, the students in the rural areas doesn't get as equal access to it rather than the students in the urban areas themselves. So then it's not just a problem that's being faced by Malaysia. However, it's a globally recognized problem. For example, as you can see on the slide that we're showing you right now, only 35% of developing nations have access to internet, compared to over 80% in the developed world. And if you were to look at the red dotted line over here of the least developed countries, they've barely passed the 25%, which shows a very worrying gap for us. Now let's take a closer look at Malaysia. According to MC's Internet Survey in 2020, 75.6% of internet users are concentrated in urban and populated areas, while rural only make up 24.4% of it. So then the question arises, what causes this divide? After researching, we've categorized it into three different sectors: the root causes, the core problems, and the consequences of this problem. The three main issues that stood out to us in the root causes are the poor infrastructure, the unequal access to digital tools, and the lack of digital literacy training. It became a problem when it's widening the educational inequality, thus lowering the national standards overall. If left unattended, the Malaysia is falling short of SDG 4 quality education for all. And now these are just some statistics to further back up our problem statement today. To summarize everything that you've seen just now, we can visualize the digital divide in three layers: the infrastructure inequality, the device disparity, and then the digital skills gap. We believe that it is crucial to solve these three interconnected problems in order to ensure fair and inclusive learning for everyone. Now then,
so we're taking the time to make sure that you understand the problem that millions are facing every single day. Now it's our turn to provide the solution. In order to design an effective solution, we first must look into the already existing solutions made by other countries on how they bridge the digital divide. Let's take a closer look. For example, in Kenya, they have implemented the KioKit, which is a portable and digital classroom that can store educational material offline. This means that students in remote areas can still learn offline and anywhere at any time, even without any internet access. Now let's look at South Korea, where they have implemented the Cyber Korea 21 plan. This plan has ensured that all citizens, regardless of age or background, has access to internet and computer education. This amazing resolution is one of the factors that transformed South Korea to be one of the most digitally advanced nations in the world. Now let's move in the example of Singapore, where they have implemented the Digital for Life movement, which is a national movement that brings together industries and communities alike to help individuals and people to engage in and to commence in digital learning. So from studying these solutions, we have noticed a key factor that technology itself isn't sufficient and that it needs to be made accessible, inclusive, and community-driven. So initiatives, like my presenter has already said, is that if policies and initiatives aren't taken by the government in order to solve the digital gap, it is expected that the rural communities and young future generations will be ill-prepared for the upcoming digital economy. So this is why we will present to you our solution, which is the Nucleus Digital, which is Malaysia's very own hybrid digital learning and empowering ecosystem. So moving on, let's see what it actually is about. Well, our solution uses the policy SMART, Adapt, and Adopt. And it's designed to do the following: to first, promote offline access to quality education, just like Kenya. And second, it also functions to promote nationwide digital literacy, like South Korea. And third, to finally cultivate community-driven digital culture, like Singapore. So moving on, let's see the mechanism and how our solution works. In the core, it's done by a nucleus pod, which is solar powered and is independent of Wi-Fi. Second, it contains preloaded content that aligns directly with Malaysia's national curriculum, such as STEM. And it also contains content that is vital for holistic empowerment, education, and development. It also functions as a local internet for students and teachers alike to use and connect with their gadgets. And finally, it uses Jandela, the initiative already taken by the government in order to increase overall connection in rural areas for internet infrastructure. So moving on is the offline content hub, which has the app Nucleus Digital. This app offers bilingual content, meaning that it can offer content in both Malaysian languages and English. So it also features modules such as Learn at Heart, Jalin at Community, and Rasa at Culture. So all of these modules can provide you offline lessons, digital literacy training, and culture innovation challenges, which are vital for the overall education occurring in rural areas. And so let's look at the system, aka the human network going behind our solution. So teachers can use our solution in order to aid them in the educational process, meaning that they can use the already prepared softwares and modules in order to enhance their education. And so students can also use it for independent and collaborative learning, meaning that, like I said before, they can use the stuff already contained in our solution. And finally, the youth can lead as digital ambassadors to help guide their fellow peers into understanding the concept of our solution, which is the digital nucleus. And these digital ambassadors will be motivated by compensation and the receivement of status. So now, let's see why our solution works. It works because it's able to bridge accessibility gaps by working both offline and online, meaning that, like I said before, in rural areas, the internet connection isn't stable, and thus we need a solution that can go offline. But let's say, for example, using the Jandela connection thing, let's say that internet comes back, then that internet can be used in order to update the contents that's contained in our solution, the Nucleus Digital, meaning that the content contained won't be outdated and can always be edited according to whatever teachers want. So second, it also empowers all age groups, from school children to senior citizens, because we have to remember that digital illiteracy is important because it allows the rural generations to be more involved in what's happening in the current world, where everything has become digitalized. So digital literacy is important in order for them to be prepared for the upcoming future. And third, it also promotes cultural continuity by integrating heritage-based learning. And finally, and most importantly, it's able to provide connections to all the citizens of Malaysia. So let's move on to the conclusion.
So from here, we believe that the problem that we're facing right now doesn't necessarily stems from the technology issue, but rather the equality issues. So we believe that with Nucleus Digital, we could help progress towards a better future and create a better learning environment. And we believe that with Nucleus Digital, no child will be left behind. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. What is your name?
Farisha, and this is Nora.
Nora. Okay, it's good presentation. So my question is, what is your opinion in terms of budgeting and facilities that we face currently in Malaysia, in terms of budget from the government or any other sources?
Come again, please.
In terms of budgeting, which is money, costing, because you want to implement this idea, nucleus digital, and then the current facilities that we have in Malaysia education.
With the current facilities, as stated by Nora earlier on, we believe that although there is already existing like solutions towards this problem, it isn't really working right now, because as you can see, like the lack of how it's being using. I'm very sorry.
Could you actually repeat the question again?
In terms of budget, which is you're talking about the education, and then you need, or if you have to implement this nucleus digital, so of course you need to have a good networking, right? So networking is you need to pay by every month or every day, right? So in terms of the facilities and in terms of money.
So the budgeting will actually come from numerous private sectors, such as the NGOs and telecom companies. So our government can actually work with them, collaborate with them in order to produce our solution. So the NGO's function is to provide income, to provide budget for these type of projects, right?
So you mean NGO will pay the cost?
Yes, alongside the MOE and others, such as private investors and private international investors.
Okay. Facilities?
For facilities, what do you mean by facilities?
Okay, what is the method that you need to access this nucleus digital?
So the thing is, nucleus digital acts as a type of, it allows because the government has already provided initiatives and policies such as Dilemma in order to try to increase the amount of digital education in Malaysia. So since those already existed, they actually have their side effects, which is that they heavily depend on internet connection, which rural areas do not have. So our solution supports the dilemma, the already existing facilities and platforms provided by the government, and it acts as a type of medium where the rural community can receive those types of platforms.
And also, government need to give you tab or phone.
Yes, because the thing is, we know that in rural areas they're caused mostly because of the economy, which is low performing. So I think that fact is very important, which is why I consider the amount of budget and the amount of how much our solution cost. And for 20 schools, you can spend to about 160,000 ringgit, meaning for one school, one kit that can provide for, let's say, 50 or 100 people, 50 to 60 people, can actually, it's quite cheap considering the fact that our government has already spent over 1 billion ringgit. So it's sustainable.
You have iPad, right?
Yes.
Government give it to you free?
No, I bought it myself.
Okay, so you imagine if your family is not have money to buy it, how you want to implement this?
Solutions are already been made by the government in order to provide already existing iPads.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, question? Okay. Question from participant. Participant, please, one question. Okay. Yeah.
No. Just.
Okay, no need mic.
No need for the mic.
Okay. I have a question regarding the budget as well. I think it's not feasible for the government to suddenly supply a lot of people with iPads. But even then, even if you to say NGOs were suddenly going to invest or give funds for your project, what's the incentive for them to invest in the first place? Like, do they get anything in return? Because I'd like to know the structure for these NGOs to invest.
So the first question, where you question the amount of budget. Well, let me tell you, one kid, like I said before, needs about 50 tablets. And those tablets can be equally shared between the students in rural areas. And like I said before, incentives have been taken by the government in order to provide free tablets to those where, for example, B40 income families. So then to answer your second question, where you asked, would NGOs, what's the aim, what's the motivation that makes private sectors like the NGOs to fund our project? Well, like I said before, the NGOs themselves function and were established in order to provide budget for projects that can enhance the education system.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sekolah Menengah Sains Sultan Mahmud, for that excellent presentation. For the sixth presentation, please give a round of applause for Sekolah Berasrama Penuh Integrasi Gombak. You may take the stage now.
Hello. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. A very good morning, I bid to all honorable judges and to all participants of Star CONFEX 9 editions. We are from SBP Integrasi Gombak, and we are given theme SDG 6 clean water and sanitation, obstacles and hindrances of a clean water solutions. So we bring to you Flow 8 SOS Clean Water for All. So my name is Imran Wafiq bin Huai, and this is my also our presenter Ifan Haziq bin Haslan. So let's get through with our contents. Firstly, we will state the status quo and problems, and then we will show you the effects of lack of clean water during the floods, and then the project objectives, and then the AR prototype and proposed solutions, which is we made from the Reality Composer, which is the apps from Apple, and then the impacts of our solutions, and then lastly we will conclude all of the presentation today. So let's move on to the status quo and problem statement. Every year, Malaysia faces devastating floods, especially during monsoon season, and with them, a recurring crisis, which is the lack of clean water. In places like East Coast states such as Kelantan, Terengganu, some residents are left with no choice but to boil flood water just to survive. Imagine preparing milk for your child using contaminated water. That's a heartbreaking reality for many. Broken pipelines, damaged pumps, and delayed aid worsen the struggle. This is not just a flood issue, but it's a clean water crisis. Today, we stand together to find a sustainable solution, because clean water should never be a privilege, but a right for all. So next. So the obstacles and hindrances of clean water solution. One of the biggest challenges in achieving clean water during flood is the damage caused to our infrastructure. Many water treatment plants become damaged or submerged, or even make it impossible to operate. And then power outages also hurt filtration systems, stopping the purification system entirely. And then and on top of that, blocked or disrupt transport routes, make it difficult to deliver clean water to affected areas. And then overcrowded evacuation centers worsen sanitation problems. And the lack of portable clean water systems leave many people without access to safe drinking water, or they need to sanitize everything. And these are the real obstacles and hindrances we must overcome to ensure clean water for all. By this problem, people are affected especially in terms of health issues and waterborne diseases caused by the contaminated water, such as leptospirosis, diarrhea, skin infections, and typhoid and cholera, and many more others health issues and waterborne disease that could be happen. And
we analyzed 4 objectives to achieve from our project, which is first, we want to provide a portable, sustainable clean water source during floods, and then we want to reduce dependency on manual aid distribution, and we also want to promote energy use in disaster response, and also we want to support isolated and stranded victims through autonomous technology, which is we use artificial intelligence, AI. So that's why we came up with the idea of Flow8 SOS Clean Water for All, which is an autonomous technology boat that distributes clean water to flood victims that are stranded and trapped during the crisis. So we combined the name Flood and 8 that sounds like float, which is significant with boat. That's just a fancy name. Okay.
So right now, in these issues, I believe that people who are facing floods every year are longing for a solution. So here, we come with the AR prototype of Flow8 that is an autonomous boat that transports water to stranded communities who doesn't have access to clean water, so they can do their daily activities without having to use dirty flood waters and even harming themselves by exposing them to the dangerous disease that is spread by the water. So at the heart of the Flow8 is its AI-powered navigation, where it is equipped with GPS, LiDAR, and even ultrasonic sensors to allow the boat to autonomously detect obstacles and map a safe route to reach the stranded people during flood. And it is also allow the boat to map a safety route by avoiding debris or strong currents, making sure that it safely reaches the stranded people during flood. And lastly, the AI data that is using to route their way to the stranded people can be used by the rescue teams to make sure that they know where is the location, the exact location of the people who are stranded during floods, to make sure that they can reach the people in time. Next, the second main feature of the Flow8 is its smart filtration system that is equipped with a multiple layer of filter to make sure that the water that they filter is safe and consumable for people. So let's take a look at the layers of filter of this smart filtration system. At the first layer, we have gravel and sands to make sure that there's no sediments in the water anymore. Next is the ceramic filter to trap bacteria and microorganisms in the flood waters. And then the activated carbon to make sure it removes odors and the chemical from the water. And lastly, the most important part is the UV sterilization chamber, which allow it to kill microorganisms and dangerous bacteria in the flood water, making sure that the water is safe and high quality to be consumed by people. And next, it has a solar-powered panel that charges its lithium-ion batteries to make sure that it always have power, even though when power lines are cut out, especially during floods. This means that it doesn't need fuel emission and it doesn't rely on electricity. It only relies on solar power rather than electricity from the power lines. And lastly, to make sure that Flow8 is more intelligent, it collaborates with the government app, My Public Info Banjir, for a real-time flood data. The app will provide live updates on the water level and the affected areas to the boat, and the AI can use the data to plan a safe and efficient route. And lastly, it could also help to locate stranded residents more accurately during flood. And the impact of Flow8 is meant to be big. Socially, it ensures that during flood, there's no one is stranded and left behind without any clean water, while it's helping reducing waterborne disease and reducing stress and anxiety among the victim of flood. Next, economically, Flow8 could reduce the cost, energy, and fuel by using solar power and using a modular filter system. It saves costs and making sure that it's the most cost-saving as possible. And lastly, environmentally, Flow8 promotes green technology and renewable energy adoption. And it's also reduced plastic bottle waste because when transporting water, it sometimes uses bottle and it could cause a lot of waste. And to conclude this presentation, Flow8 is a lifeline for communities which combine AI intelligence, smart filtration, and solar energy to ensure that no one is left behind without any clean water during flood. And that's all from us. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful presentation, very good job. I would like to ask, for this device to be deployed, what level of flood level are you going to recommend for them to deploy this?
In this case, the boat should be deployed when the flood waters reaches a dangerous level, when people are started to be evacuated to the shelter. So if there any case where people are stranded or not yet to be transported to the shelter, they could get clean water even though in the flood.
So you're expecting, I don't know, but this is what I've been thinking. So you're expecting that the flood victims will be still staying at home?
Yes, it's not that. Alright, let me clarify. Some of the flood victims, they are stranded during flood by not their choice. Let's say that the evacuation shelters are crowded and full, and there's no comfort in there. Or there's some people who have disabilities or need special treatment that they only have at their homes. They maybe need a few days to make sure that they are fully equipped, to make sure that they are prepared to go to the evacuation shelter. Or lastly, the evacuation team would take days or even weeks to make sure that everyone is transported to the evacuation shelter. So in this period of time, which would take days or even weeks, there might be some people who are still stranded without any clean water. So to make sure that they don't have to use any flood water, to make sure that they won't harm themselves by consuming flood waters, we make this boat to make sure that it can distribute the clean water to the people who are still stranded.
Thank you.
Okay. It's a good idea actually, but rather than you provide the boat, because you use a solar, right? During raining season, it's no sunlight.
Alright, so that's a good question. So, throughout the year, from January until the monsoon season, the Flow8 would use the time to charge its battery to make sure that it already prepared enough energy to make sure that it can always travel throughout the flood. So by the whole year, before the monsoon season came or the flood came, the boat already stored enough energy to make sure that it always functions and doesn't run out of energy during floods.
Okay, for your info, if you want to store a lot of energy in one battery, it costs you a lot of money.
Yes.
It's not cheap.
But compared to other solutions like clean water truck or even a proper evacuation boat, it costs less than them. So do you know that the proper evacuation boat that is equipped with a lot of things should cost at least around 100,000 ringgit, or even a water truck, water lorry who would transport the water would cost even up to 300,000 ringgit. But after a lot of calculation, we have summed up the cost of Flow8 to be around 78,000 ringgit only.
78.
78.
Not to add that the filter is also modular and replaceable, so which means if the filter are broken, we don't have to replace the whole parts, which means we can just take out the part that is broken and we can replace with a new part. So it doesn't cost a lot of money and it is easily replaceable and sustainable.
Okay, good.
Any questions from the participants?
Tak cukup mas. Nak tanya banyak lagi tapi tak cukup masa.
So your average navigation system, for example, Waze, utilizing AI, already has struggles in navigating simple roads, and floods are actually very unpredictable. So how can you confirm the feasibility of the boat navigating itself using AI?
All right, going back to the collaboration with the government app, My Public Info Banjir, the app would help the AI to provide the real-time data on the flood level or where the stranded people are. So from the data that is provided by the apps, the AI can make sure that it can route a safety way to reach the stranded people during flood. So it can avoid debris or even strong currents during flood. Hope that clarified. Thank you.
Oh, there's another question. Last question.
Thank you. How long can the filter be used? Because from what I know, the filters cannot be used for a long time and it needs to be replaced. And how do you know when it needs to be replaced?
All right, so the flow aid will constantly go to the stranded people and constantly go back to the evacuation shelter to make sure that the filter is still usable. So every day, whenever they go out to the stranded people or before they go out to reach the stranded people during flood, the evacuation team at the evacuation shelter will make sure that the filter is still usable or will repair or will replace the filter if it's not usable anymore.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Sekolah Berasrama Penuh Integrasi Gombak on that wonderful presentation. Now, to close the morning session, I would like to call upon the last presenter from Sekolah Menengah Sains Teluk Intan to present their ideas.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all judges and fellow participants.
We are from Sekolah Menengah Sains Teluk Intan, and today we will be presenting on the theme of education deficiencies in developing nation. In SDGs 4 is advancing quality education. So like we know, education is the key to a nation growth. However, even as Malaysia continues to develop, there are still problems that stop students from reaching their full potential. So we have lowered the scope on focusing on the specifically problems that is social problems.
Okay, through our presentation, we will explore why this occur, how they contribute to educational deficiencies, and how it can be solved by our nations. Before we go through, let us show you this video.
Schools as concerns escalate over the spate of violent incidents involving students. The Education Ministry MOE has pledged firm action and full cooperation with police over the gang rape case involving a former student at the school in Alumata, Melaka. The nation has once again been shaken by a shocking criminal case involving school students. In the latest incident, a teenage girl from a secondary school in Petaling Sarawak was brutally stabbed to death by a male schoolmate on Tuesday morning. Now, the recent case of rape involving students at a school in Balamanda has been reclassified as statutory rape and not gang rape.
So from the short news clip from Bulletin Utama that highlight just how serious this issue becomes. In only 1 month, there has been significant increase in cases of bullying, sexual misconduct, and also attempted murder.
Now, what are the actual reasons of this problem can happen?
So why bullying happen? It's happened because of the bullies have low self-esteem. Because some bullies speak on others to feel powerful or in control. In other words, maybe the bullies feel worse that make other people to feel worse too, to make in order to make them feel better. And then jealousy or insecurity because they may target people they envy or see as different. And the last one is the familiar to all the students that live in hostel is past experience because people who were bullied themselves sometimes repeat the behavior to feel stronger.
Now, next, we have social misconduct. Sexual misconduct, sorry. Why does this happen? It happens because students who grew up in homes with violence or no guidance may not learn respect. Then, some offenders have poor self-control, mental issues, or lack of empathy. Then, others imitate what they see in pornography, movies, or social medias. Then, the last one is peer pressure or curiosity can also lead to boundary crossing behavior. After that, we have attempted murder. Why does this happen? This happens because the student may feel deep anger, humiliation, or hatred towards someone, usually a teacher, bully, or a classmate. Then, sometimes they lose control of their emotion and act violently. After that, this often comes from long-term stress, trauma, or past bullying.
Okay, let's go through the timeline of these cases that happened in this year. So, if you look at the cases, all this happened in just 10 months in 2025. It's not a year yet, but it shows that's many increase. There's increased a lot of cases in these problems.
Now, why this problem contribute to educational deficiencies in developing nations?
Okay, so first of all, parents and students actually lost trust in the education system. Parents might be not sending their children to the school. That this may lead to truancy and also dropouts. And then low academic performance. To a student that's being bullying victims or sexual harassment, feeling stressed or not focusing in their class. And then school dropouts. Next, unsafe learning environment. And the last one is psychological and emotional trauma.
Now, the real question is, how can we prevent these problems from happening?
So the first is from home. Why from home? Because the student may be growing up with their parents, so the parent must be shaping their children so this problem can be solved. So first, monitor children behavior and online activities. And the next one is parent agreement with school and environment disciplinary policies.
Next, the second medium is school. Why school? We all know children always go to school, students go to school, parents must go to school before this. So, from school, they can strengthening the school discipline or supervision, because if the discipline in school is not safe enough, the student will feel unsafe to be at school. Next one is why. Let us see this video first. Now, from this video, we know in today's school, the trust bridge between parents and teacher has become weak. Many parents disagree or overreacting when teacher discipline their children, even when it's done to teach them and not to harm. This problem leads to teacher afraid to enforce rules. So what can actually school do? Nothing. So parents need to agree Parents actually need to agree what what school needs to do. So if the parents are not agree with the school, how can the school do their works? After that, we have
next, the solution for the governments. So first, put more focus on funding for school safety infrastructure. So from the cases, after the cases, government takes opportunity to put CCTVs on each school, but the government should stand by the CCTV first before the cases happens. And then bring back national exam that were published. And the last one is ensure there will be no cover-up cases happen in school.
And the last one is peers. How can peers do their works? They can be active bystander and not silent witnesses. In conclusion, by these ways of prevention, all these problems can be solved. But it only can be solved if you guys do your work. It's not teachers' responsibilities only. It's not our parents' responsibility only. It's not school responsibility only. It's our responsibility. So if we do our responsibilities, this social problem can be solved. We can't do it with apps. We can't do it with apps. We can't do it with innovation, but we can change our mindset to solve these social problems. That is all from us. Thank you.
What is your name, guys?
My name is Danny.
Denny. And?
My name is Arif with double F.
Thank you for the great presentation. I think it is tough to elaborate on social behavioral issues, and then I think you guys did well because it is not something that we can give solution that is so technical and also I would say quantitative, something like that. It just it is social issue must be solved by social solutions. But a question, just a critical thinking question. Do you think Rotan should be brought back?
Yes, because if the students only give SSDM, we use SSDM, but how can they know when to stop if they only get demerit, and not a little bit of harmful in their punishment?
Okay, you never mentioned about gadget. Is it the big factor also?
Yes. So the parents need to monitor their gadget. Actually, before their need to buy their children a gadget, we should put family link first before give it to their children. So it will be more safe.
Do you have any age limit?
So now the government told us that the age limit is 16 years old to be holding a phone. But I think it would be much better if the age limit is more lower and lower, more upper and upper, like 18 plus or etc.
Then I think you shouldn't be holding a gadget right now.
Yeah. You're holding this gadget since 12 years old?
This year.
This year, okay.
Okay. Any question from the floor?
Yes. Okay. I think the general solutions that you've presented are overall very good. However, I think just to say that we must change our mindset is not enough. We need a more like physical and tangible enforcement from other parties. So my question is, what sort of enforcements can be made to make sure these people are actively carrying out the solutions that you've presented?
So, we can't change their mindset fully. But if we want to do this, can you please repeat the question?
Okay. I think just to say that people need to change their mindset is not enough, because then also needs to be like enforcements from other parties such as the government. So my question is, what are some examples of enforcements that can be made to strengthen your solutions?
Yes. Okay. It can be general, like the government can enforce their law, the government can give funds on their facilities in school, besides giving facilities for bendera Jalur Gemilang we wear. So the government can provide the things that actually preventing these problems from happens, besides giving the Jalur Gemilang.
Any question from the floor? Oh, okay, one question.
So I do agree that solutions should be institutional, such that it should be from the school or from your home. But we can see that education, for example, we've been using pendidikan moral for quite a long time, and it's not as effective as it's supposed to be. How do you think educational backgrounds, or like how do you teach these children to have a more effective way to like dissipate these social problems?
So it's their parents' jobs to teach them. It's if only the teachers teach them, they can't even keep focusing on what they studied, because only if their parents teach these lessons, they would understand and getting more into it.
Also, you asked for pendidikan moral is not effective, right? Like we know, in 2026, there will be one more subject that will be added to our subject, is called pendidikan characteristic. That will be, maybe will be helpful to solve this problem.
Pendidikan what?
Pendidikan characteristic.
Is there any questions? That is all from us. Thank you.
Thank you to representatives of Sekolah Menengah Sains Teluk Intan for that wonderful presentation. With that, the morning session has come to an end. Before we dismiss, I would like to invite the judges to give a general feedback towards the participants of the morning session.
Hello everyone. First of all, I would like to congratulate everyone for your presentation. I mean, it's not an easy task. You have done a lot of work, research, and also collaboration with your friends to come up with this work. So congratulations again, okay? The rubrics that were given to us was actually based on presentation, infographic, and also question and answer. So based on this, I would go for, as I'm an English lecturer. So I was actually looking at your language, the presentation in your PowerPoints, okay? And also your time management. Everyone kept to their time. Congratulations again, okay? No one went overboard, which was like, oh, this is a first for me, because for the past 2 years, some of the schools went overboard with the timing, okay? And I could see that when you talk about ideas, you have the idea. We put aside realistically or unrealistically the ideas are, you have the idea, okay? For you to deploy, that's another question, okay? You have that critical and logical thinking in you, which is good, okay? So overall, we could see that you have done a lot. So again, wonderful presentation from everyone, okay? Some slips here and there, that's common. I think I too have that slips sometimes, right? Okay, I think that's all from me. I don't know about the other judges.
Thank you, Puan. So I also feel the same thing. So congratulations to your effort and then your confidence level present in front of us, even though we are same actually. Looks like you have more knowledge compared to us because you do a reading, right? For the latest reading, latest info you get. Okay, so it's good for you. Hopefully, in future you'll be a good people. Maybe Prime Minister of Malaysia. Maybe, right? We don't know your future. So congratulations to all.
So, hi everyone. What a wonderful session we had just now. So I think I could break my comments into two. The very first one is presentation. Firstly, most of you did very good job. Language ke, but then I would like to add, for presentation, for pitchings, you should add some meaningful gesture so that you can more macam empower yourself, your speeches, semua tu kan. And then one more is we have a few bit of technical issues that you may and want to improve, like those chaotic moment in front. For example, the mic doesn't work, you have to recover quickly. Like put it aside and then be bold. Just talk without the mic. So one few things that you can improve. Some of you are very, very good speakers, and I really like that. And then in terms of Q&A, please do some research of the structure of how to answer. Meaning like there should be like we say sambut, the way you sambut the question, and then the way you justify the concern of the people questioning you, and then the way you bring up your justification, and then you emphasizing the reasoning of your reasoning tu lah. So there is few macam method juga for you to answer. And then the last one is we are very sorry like if the question are very too straightforward ke provocative, because some of you are very, very talented in a way. So I think it is quite difficult for us to pick who gonna be like the best here and there. So we try to push more if we see that you guys able to handle it. Okay, so don't take it to the heart. So you guys did a very good job.
Semua pemenang tiada pengalah.
Thank you to the judges and all the participants. Now we are going for a break. Participants are allowed to roam around, do your prayers, and get your lunch after this. Thank you everyone, and I wish you the best of luck.